Hello! Welcome to the Chef Andrew Show! Woohoo! Alright, so we are cooking some breakfast today.
So when you talk
So
about
I'm
being
thinking
flexible and adaptable,
we're gonna make
what
breakfast
kinds of things are you
pizza.
talking about? Because it seems like it would
Right?
be kind of common sense that like if the
Mr.
conditions
Andrew?
around you change, you need to sort
Get
of
in the frame, buddy.
adapt to those and
There you
change
go.
with them as well. But what
Yeah,
kinds of
we wanna
things
see you.
did you find that people
Okay.
were doing to be flexible back in this period, and how does that translate to maybe
Well, we
So
don't
we're
find
making
that
scrambled
some
eggs.
theoretical urban societies that had really strong interregional ties and also had a lot of major social inequality are the ones that really experience a lot of disruption and spillover of disease.
We're gonna use the
And those are
biscuits
the
as
ones
our
that experience
as our
more
dough.
violence as well.
We're gonna cut up some
But
onion,
it's really different from a lot of hunter-gatherer
and
pastoralist societies.
some
They're also exploring a diversity of economic
peppers.
practices in the past, and they seem to have found
Yeah, some bell peppers.
compared to these other, emergent civilizations and heavily urbanized societies. One example we gave was with the Black Death in Europe, and you've got a lot of population crowding. When that happens, the societies did not care for it. But smaller groups who would maintain connections, but also
And some
have diversity of responses,
cheese.
had more flexibility,
Okay.
more capable.
I'm getting the
of
this
exploring
hot.
the environment. They know it better.
Okay.
They know the plants. They know the resources.
I'm getting
and
this
they're
hot.
able to diversify much more than some of these heavily.
So we're gonna
urbanized
crack some eggs in here. I'm gonna rinse them off.
Do you think that it's possible for both of those things to maybe be true in the sense that areas are interconnected and regional as much of the Phoenix metro area is, much of Arizona is, much of the U.S. and the world are, but also have people who are knowledgeable about local plants, for example, and maybe knowledgeable about the local or regional environment who can sort of help maybe make some of the adaptations when those things are needed.
Well, this was one of the recommendations
Oh,
that
get it over there.
we're
Whoa.
making in the article is that indigenous groups really have that
Okay,
kind
take
of
that.
the knowledge of the environment and the management of the landscape. And there are some examples today now, for instance, in California and also in Australia, that indigenous people are now being trained to manage wildfires.
How much of a parallel do you think these two time periods are, the time period that you were studying as part of this paper and what we're seeing now in terms of what different people in different societies, how they handled rapid climate change then and how folks are handling
Okay, so we're gonna add some more.
Well, there's a lot of
Careful with yourself, sir.
talk about doom scrolling and doomsaying and so forth, but we do have some time
Yeah,
to
mix
make
those
those
up.
kinds of communications.
We're gonna do, I think, 5
Have really
eggs.
been even more rapid than those of the past because of industrialization and the amount of
That'll be
pollution
good.
that's created. But
5
what
eggs.
we're finding is that cooperation is
turn that off for a little
key
bit.
among
Hang on,
these
we gotta
groups
wash
that
them.
we studied.
Yep,
So I
and you
think
stir
there's
that up.
hope,
Those need
certainly,
whipped.
but we really do have to come together and try to
Exactly.
mitigate some
Eggs
of
need
the
whipped
effects
stuff.
of spatial inequity, major migration, and so forth to try to manage some of these major impacts on crops and so forth. So we need to come together to find ways to ensure that everybody's got adequate water and to then dispel the possibility of
actually,
conflicts
too-
over these resources that are becoming more scarce, and we're certainly experiencing that right here in the Southwest.
That was ASU anthropology professor Brenda Baker, and you are listening to the show.
And you are listening to 91.5 and KJZZ.org. Thanks for joining us
Mix
today.
it
Here now
up,
coming up
mix
this morning
it
at
up.
10 o'clock. In Valley traffic, reminder, the northbound
What to
Route
do?
101 freeway closed at McDonald Drive due to a crash there. Traffic is exiting at McDonald. You will see some delays. You might want to find an alternate route. Right now, we don't have any estimated time for that highway to reopen. Also on southbound
I'm gonna cook the
I-17,
dough.
we have a
We're gonna
disabled
cook the dough a little bit
vehicle at the
first.
exit ramp at Cactus Road. On our way to a high of 101 today in Phoenix. It is 91 degrees right now at 9:26.
KJZZ thanks business member Roastery of
Woo!
Cave Creek for their generous
Ah!
support of public radio and the local business community. One cup at a
Oh,
time. Or at
Yeah, you heard it.
Coffee.
Yep. So look, we're gonna take these. I'm gonna just go like this.
Good morning. It is the show here on KJZZ 91.5.
Go like
I'm
this.
Lauren Gilbert.
You know?
And I'm Mark Brody. Coming up, after years of feeling sequestered during COVID, many bands were thrilled to get back on stage.
It's just sort of astonishing when I look out and I just take a moment to reflect and take it all in and just smile and say thank you for coming.
Coming up, we revisit our conversation with Joey Burns of Tucson's Calexico.
But first, more than 30 years ago, a civil war in Sudan uprooted a generation of children. 20,000 of them were left orphaned or displaced, fleeing to Ethiopia and then walking for thousands of miles to Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya. Half of them died on the journey. The survivors were known as the Lost Boys of Sudan. Nearly 4,000 of them were brought to the U.S. as refugees. Back in March, we spoke with Deng Aten, the first of the Lost Boys to come to the U.S. He
Pretty
made
good,
his new
yep.
home here in Phoenix, where he's lived for some 30 years now. Aten chronicled his experiences in the 2022 memoir, Jumping Over the Ram. Here is our conversation about it from earlier this year.
When I came here in 95, I was in high school, mostly trying to fit in with American kid here. But when Mother of the Lost Boy and Lost Girl came here in early 2000, we started talking about our stories and what we went through when we were in refugees camp.
Oh,
when
cutting
we were
board.
in the
Good job.
army, In the rebel movement. So I decided,
work,
I
sir.
said, you know what, it's a good idea to write my story, put it down and share it with the rest of the people, and also be able to get over so much stress in my head. I always have to think about it and having all these nightmares. So I just want to talk it out.
Yeah, writing it and kind of reliving these things, I'm sure, was not easy.
Yeah, it was difficult because there's a time that I have to write it down, and then sometime later on I erase it.
Yeah, just you gotta be careful,
I
right?
erase it or just leave it there and walk away because all the
Okay, so that's
bad
kinda what we're
memories
doing
are
for
coming back,
Ross.
flowing back. The good part was when I learned how to play soccer. That's
Yeah,
the
be
good memory.
careful.
But the rest of the struggle is quite different.
What were some of the specific memories in the book that you didn't really want to relive when you had to write them out?
Actually, I wonder I was involved in the battles in the river Gilo in 1991 when we
Andrew, hang on,
evacuated
hang on.
Ethiopia.
Okay.
But actually, we tried to evacuate, but we were
Okay.
4,000 after that.
I just don't want you to cut yourself. You had it up like this, and we're about to push on it like this. Stop. That's the sharp part, okay? I just didn't want you to cut yourself. That's why we acted quick. I'm sorry.
That battle I was involved
Didn't
in.
want you to cut yourself.
That time that I was involved. I have
So,
witnessed
where's
some
the fork?
casualties And civilian.
Where's the
who
fork
were
for this?
forced To jump into the river and drown.
Where's the fork for
and
this?
others were killed.
Okay,
Memories
so we're
that
here.
I will
Alright.
never get off in my head.
You must have been really young at that time, 1991.
1991, probably 12 to 13 years.
You're okay.
You were 18.
I just didn't want you to cut
When
yourself.
you came here. What are your memories of Sudan before that, before the war?
I left my village when I was 8 and I walked for a month to reach Ethiopia refugees camp. In 1991, we were forced to come back to Sudan, so I became a displaced person for the second time.
Okay.
And that, very much my memories of Sudan, it's just the war itself. There's nothing really good that you
Okay.
can remember except thinking and remember and thinking
So.
about my family.
We want to cut the top
So, I mean,
off.
this was your entire childhood, essentially,
We
being
wanna
displaced.
cut it in half.
Being, in whether it's living in a refugee center. or
You're
walking
fine. You're
towards to get
fine,
there,
buddy.
or
I just
being
didn't want
involved
you
in
to cut
battles and
yourself.
Seeing the war play out.
You were headed
When
to
you
it.
got to Phoenix,
You're
like,
good.
when you finally made that trip, and you were one of the first ones to do it. I mean, what was that like? Was it a relief or was it terrifying?
I came here when I was 17-year-old. I was placed in the foster care with a foster parent, my foster mother, and then my foster brother, who's also a child soldier like me. We came from the same place. But it was totally different because I have to go through different change and culture. Where I was a child soldier doesn't have a curfew to the point that I have to have a curfew when I was actually 17-year-old. So it was a different situation altogether. But yes, the goal was for me when I came here, try to forget everything behind and then try to fit in with American children here. When I was in high school, I was old enough. I was 18 and I was in a classroom with 14, 13-year-olds.
Did you speak the language?
Yeah, I speak a little bit English.
So you had to start over again in a lot of ways. Like you said, you would have been a senior. You're starting in 9th grade. I mean, what was it like?
The best part of it, when I was in high school, we did PE class, physical education. And my record in PE were actually breaking the school record. I won 100, 200, 400, and 800. But I cannot qualify to be part of it.
It smells good.
All of that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I mean, you adapted. Obviously, you graduated high school here. You went to ASU. I mean,
Yes, sir.
I guess what about you do you think pushed you to succeed so much? Like to not just graduate high school, but to graduate college, to get your MBA.
I'm
keep
not worried about
pushing in
next
this
week.
place
I'm
where you
focused on
went
what we're
from
doing
a
right now, buddy.
language That was not your own. Like this must have
So-
been challenging in some way, but you did it.
Yeah, it was a challenge. That what happened with the foundation that was set by the Catholic Social Service of Phoenix when we were in the program. They have this
Okay.
team of tutors that come and help us with homework after school, and that's was one of the most important things that helped me. And also have some other influence from Western journalists who I met in the camp that time. Sent me books so that I have to read all of these books when I read about America when I was still in the refugees camp. So when I came here, more of my friends they were in high school and they were willing and interested to go to colleges. So also it motivated me a lot. The most important thing also my father.
Yep,
is
we're gonna
that
put
even
some
though
onion
he
in there
put
too.
them in school,
It can't make you cry when you cut
he
it.
took
That
me
is
to
true.
Khartoum when I was young.
Yep.
Go to school to go and stay with his brother so I can go to school there. But that was
Very
the
true, buddy.
motivation that my father was willing me to educate me to send me to school.
What I found
So when I
helps
was
with
in the
that
refugees camp, yeah.
is lighting a
And the refugees camp
candle
was very good
near
school.
you.
And
That
that's
kind
the
of helps.
reason that, I
Something
was
with the
one of
smoke
few
takes away
who
the
selected to do
that,
the interview with Western journalists when they came to the camp.
that burning a little bit.
So
It helps.
you still go back and visit your family and
So a
stuff?
little tip for you
Yes,
guys
I
out
would
there.
have, 2021. I've been back. The first time I went to South Sudan was in 2016. After 31 years is when I met my father and my sibling. I'm planning to go back to get involved
Okay,
in a lot of
so
things,
that's
politics, and
my
also
eggs are done.
be able to contribute down there and teach. But it's still a challenge down there. Yeah.
I want to ask you about the title of the book, Jumping Over the Ram. It doesn't necessarily make sense to people right off the bat, but there's a really interesting reason why you called it this, right?
Absolutely. Jumping over the ram in our traditional Denka or Nilotics in Africa, when you've been absent from the village, mostly the village, now it's a country.
Yeah, we're doing
When
it,
you
Andrew.
come back to the village, what
Right?
they did, they
Look at right here.
sacrificed an animal
What are we doing?
for you
Okay.
to jump over that.
So let's
animal,
focus on
take
that,
away the
okay?
Evil spirit
All right.
that may have
So-
counter. You don't want to bring them to the community.
We
So when
got,
I
some pepper
went
here.
back after 31 years,
We're gonna put over it.
the spiritual leaders together in my place, in my best
Okay.
friend when I was young. And then they were waiting for me
Yeah.
when I came. Even though I saw my father who was standing in the compound, I was directed to go west
Yeah.
and go all the way
Apologies.
down there before,
Ugh.
and then people make a line. And
I
then
sneezed.
the animal and they have to jump over.
Ugh, I think it was the
So that
pepper
now it will,
I put in the
all
eggs.
the evil spirit will remain with the dead animal.
What did that mean
Uh,
for you
no,
to go
these
back
aren't
after
spicy.
31 years and participate in that and do that with your family?
No, these are sweet peppers.
It was
These are bell
amazing for
peppers.
me to-
So they're
to
sweet
go back.
peppers.
When I was there, everything was new to me. I was just like a child beginning to talk or to walk. So I have to go through, I have to ask step by step, what about this, what about this, what happened in here, and all of this. And I just
Onion is a
walk
little
around
spicy, yeah.
the compound,
I'll
walk
give it a
around
little
the area,
spice.
try to recognize the trees
But
and
I was
anything
thinking
other
you
than-
could put
anything.
on your slices,
Yeah.
if you want, you can put some hot sauce on
I
it.
just try to reconnect.
Because hot sauce is
with
really good
everything.
on eggs and stuff, you know.
Like that.
But I don't know if everyone will
Dang
want
it,
that.
Tom,
So we
the
can just
author
put it
has
on
a
your
new book
slices and
jumping
eat it.
over
And
the
it would make
realm
it
of
soggy.
First Lost Boys to come to America.
Yeah, you
and
can put it on
executive
yours,
director
for sure.
of the
Yeah,
South
you'll
Sudan
have it, I
Quick
know.
Yardic
Crazy
community
boy.
of Arizona joining us. Dang, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for telling us. this
You
story.
love
Thank you for having me.
You
That was
do.
Dane
Yeah.
Lim,
You love your
author of
fans.
Jumping Over the Ram, and you are listening.
Sir,
to
yes,
the show.
sir.
And you are listening to KJZZ, the perfect mix of BBC.
I'm sure they love you
NPR,
too, buddy.
And KJZZ News. Thanks for spending part of your Labor Day 2023 with us here. In Valley traffic, northbound Loop 101 freeway remains closed due to a
I know,
crash at
buddy.
McDonald Drive. Traffic is exiting at McDonald. You will see some delays through there. We still don't know when that highway will reopen. Sunny skies today in Phoenix, a high of 101, 102 tomorrow,
Yes, sir.
105.
Oh my goodness. What? I just get snuggles?
91 degrees right now in Phoenix at 9:37.
I know. I love you too, buddy. You're my friend.
For KJZZ's car donation
I care about
program
you.
comes from
I know what's
local
best
Kia
for you.
dealers. The Kia Niro EV has
What?
an EPA estimated
Them?
253-mile all-electric range and 20 standard safety assist technologies.
Yeah,
More
we'll tell them
info at
thank you.
kia.com.
They're right there. They can hear you. I know. All the people watching supporting you. Sweet.
101.5. I'm Mark Brody.
And I'm Lauren Gilger. People say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, sometimes a piece of art can be worth even more. That's the case for a piece of weaving done by Tucson artist Maxie Adler.
Yeah.
It doesn't hang on a wall in a gallery, but instead on a 30-foot steel bollard on the border wall between the United States and Mexico in southern Arizona. Adler created the work with pieces of fabric left by migrants near the border that she found in the desert. Backpacks, clothes, the odd teddy bear or two. Every object, she says, tells a story of immense loss. The process took her more than 2 years. She physically attached herself to the wall along her loom. In April of 2022, I spoke with her more about the process and why she felt compelled to do it.
In 2019, we got news that the border wall was going to be constructed in Arizona. So, virtually in my backyard, which was devastating, and started taking a lot of trips to the construction site just to bear witness to what they were doing, which was horrendous. I mean, bulldozing saguaros and plants and clear-cutting giant swaths of the Sonoran Desert, sucking water from the ground. I mean, just stuff that's really difficult to watch. And we started organizing against the construction, watching what was happening to the indigenous communities of the borderlands, to our community, to the land, and we were doing our darndest to fight back. I mean, we fought with everything we could and tried to organize and ask other people to watch what was going on and to fight back, but it ultimately felt like we were like banging our heads against the wall, like screaming into the desert, and nobody was listening. And at that time, I was also going out with the Tucson Samaritans, which is an amazing group of activists that take water and food into super remote parts of the desert. And when I was out with them, we would come across, blankets and backpacks and stuffed animals and these little tokens of human life out there, and 100 miles from the nearest town. So as my body is trying to digest this totally impossible and unthinkable thing that's happening. So
Thank you,
leaving
sir.
at the border wall was really the only thing I was able to do that was even remotely healing, which is, I know, pathetically inadequate. But through this time of us tirelessly fighting and pleading with people and companies that had literally no intent on listening to us, weaving became my way of processing and grieving everything that I was seeing and just bearing witness to what was going on through the construction process.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us about these materials you used in the weaving process here. It sounds like are the things that you described picking up as you were out
Right.
with the Samaritans, the backpacks, the teddy bears, the clothes, things like that.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Done with that.
So while out in the desert, we would come across these sort of abandoned scenes where you could very clearly tell that, you know, people had just been there. We would walk up to these scenes and your whole body just freezes. You can feel when someone has been present there, when something has happened.
Okay.
And knowing I was so far away
So.
from anything else, anyone else in that, no one
Eggs on
would
here.
ever see the scene that I was seeing, but the real humanness of this entire conversation that like is so often forgotten. I just started collecting those things because I knew if I left them, I mean, it'd be part of me was screaming like, why aren't more people out here looking at this?
What?
Like, why isn't
Did you burn
this
yourself?
being talked about? So I guess.
Oh,
my
puppy
only
scratched you right there?
solution
I was
in my
wondering what
life was
happened,
that
dude.
I gotta bring it back and bring it to other people so they can see it too.
So I want to hear about this process. It sounds quite intricate. I mean, you actually wove this piece onto the border wall itself, but it sounds like not all at one time. And you were actually connected to the border wall while you did the weaving. Tell us about this.
Yeah,
Smells
so
good in here.
I was
Yeah, so we
using
used the
batch
biscuits, these
stitching,
biscuits
which
as
is
kind of a
really
crust here.
traditional
Oh, nice.
and
So,
historic way of weaving. So you get to use your own the tension of your own weaving backwards to weave. So I attached to the border wall and I attached to my waist, and through the tension I was able to create between my body
Okay.
and the steel in front of me. I would weave.
Yeah, I was thinking we
small
could lay-
sections at a time, like
lay some of that on there.
of
But hang on.
fabric
Here.
next to me of things that I
I want to finish
collected
this
and sort of
and
shaking
cut up
them
this
off,
a little bit here.
and removing the dust from the desert and tearing them and weaving them, and I would get to sit there doing it for maybe 20 minutes
Oh, puppy
at
dog.
a time. Somebody came to pick me out. So this process of weaving as tall as the wall itself took over 2 years
Okay.
of these little 20-minute moments. I
I'm gonna
took
do one more of
areas
these, I
in
think. I don't
Arizona,
think we're gonna
some
need that
in
last
Texas,
one.
Some in New Mexico. Oftentimes, Border Patrol would come inquire what I was doing and make claims that I was extremely unsafe being out there by myself, which always felt, it always kind of laughed at them, honestly, because most of the time I was at Organ Pipe National Monument, and my response was always, no, I'm in a national monument. I'm very much so allowed to be here and enjoying this place that the federal government has claimed to protect, and I'm watching it be destroyed.
So I wonder, I mean, like, why was it important for you to do it there, to actually physically be connected to the
Yes,
wall
sir.
even while you did it? Like, why not do the weaving at home and then bring it to the wall or something like that?
I've always chose to work with fabric and porous materials because I believe they're like little books. They're carrying stories of everywhere that they've been, and I think that within the materials we're using every day, the way that we structure our lives, to me it was important to bring the fabric back to the place, back to this singular symbol of the border, of what's happening here, and to sort of provide an alternative narrative to bring back these symbols of our collective humanity, of every single individual human story that's gotten lost in the news cycle, and
It's fine.
give them a platform to start to see something
Oh,
woven
good.
and
Yeah, we're gonna lay that over it, buddy, I think.
against that steel.
It sounds like this was really kind of personally difficult for you. I mean, it sounds like this
It's okay, bud.
the environmental, especially aspects of this and watching it happen, was like emotionally challenging as you did this. Did you feel that as you tried to complete this project over such a long course of time?
Yeah, but
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. I mean, it's still
We're gonna
emotionally
use it.
difficult for me
I know.
to sit your.
I have to leave soon. I'm past my time, so I